I never said goodbye to my grandfather. I always knew tomorrow would bring another chance to make the phone calls I didn't make often enough. I would always have another chance to say, I love you, to the old man. There was always going to be more time. At the end of life, people rarely regret that which they did, the mistakes they made, the hearts they broke, the late nights filled with drunken deeds of men old enough to know better and young enough not to care. At the end, as the last grains of sand fall from the hourglass, we regret more what remains undone, what now always will be. The sparkling cocktail of conflicting emotions December 31st brings without fail is neither secret nor stranger to any of us. As the clock ticks towards midnight, we are made to reflect on what we've done with the time we were given. Home exercise bikes loom long under a thick coating of dust, alongside mint-condition copies of War and Peace and Infinite Jest. Most of us look back on 300-plus days we somehow managed to fill with drudgery and disappointment while avoiding the things we pay lip service to valuing. All of us are 1 year older, one trip around the sun closer to our last. 2020 brought with it promise and potential. We stood on the cusp of not only a new year, but a new decade. A cleaner slate one could not ask for. This time, we were gonna commit. This time, it was all going to happen for us. This time, we meant it. The holiday season is a time when we are forced by circumstance and tradition to reflect on the sum of our choices. I don't have any money to buy Christmas presents for those I love. I also didn't apply for new jobs, even though I claim to hate the one I have. Well, I have no one to kiss on New Year's Eve. I also never asked out that girl who clearly had a crush on me. I swore I'd have abs by now. I never used that gym membership I bought last January. The introspective nature of the holiday season is baked into the traditions surrounding our celebrations of them. Thanksgiving is a time dedicated to specific and intentional contemplation of that in our life which is worthy of giving thanks for. Christmas brings otherwise disparate family members together for days on end. Travel and high expectations wear on the nerves. Proximity makes denial of clan tensions impossible. At New Year's, the bill comes due. There isn't another day. No next time or second chance. The year is over. A mirror held before us as we gaze at the reflection of our life's sum total, and often find it wanting. During the holiday season, we have time off work. Our normal forms of distraction and recreation are unavailable. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide from the truth of what we've built or what we have failed to. As a new year descends upon us and the old one breathes its last, Kubler-Ross is invoked. Denial of how close the end truly is. Hence the date seems to sneak up on us. Anger at missed opportunities, at ourselves for not taking them, and others whom we blame for the decisions we failed to make. We bargain. It's no big deal. There's always next time. Everyone gets busy. I'm not the only one. If I'd only been given that promotion, if only my schedule hadn't been so hectic, if the world hadn't fallen apart. The holiday blues rears its ugly head yet again as we are made to come to terms with the fact that we are more poor, fat, stupid, and alone than we knew for certain we would be a year ago. As the ball drops and the book closes its final chapter, the truth has its day in the sun. The human capacity for abstraction gave our ancestors a giant leg up in the war of species. To inhabit a world of ideas and possibilities allows one to bring forth new forms from the void and remake the environment in one's image. But here's the thing. Tomorrow is an illusion. The past is a farce. It is always only now. We stand eternally between that which is no longer and a world that hasn't happened, struggling valiantly for balance on the razor's edge of that isthmus. We spend much of our time inhabiting this realm of memory and intention, so deeply embedded within it that we neglect the dimension of atoms and action that we truly inhabit. So valuing what we intend that we neglect what we do. We are a race of painters who don't paint, writers who don't write, family men who never pick up the phone to make the Sunday call. Nathaniel Brandon writes on personal integrity that the chasm between our professed values and our actions represents a wound on our fundamental sense of self. Every departure, no matter how small, from performative adherence to the value system we claim to hold, represents violence towards our consciousness. When a rabbi lies, when a fighter cowers, he has acted against who he thought himself to be, and in doing so, created dissonance that can be resolved only through self-correction or self-deception. As the first chapter of a new decade prepares to give up the ghost, it is worth asking yourself how much you gave this time around soul. What percentage of your effort did you put into you? And are you happy with that? What kept you from giving more? Why do you believe you aren't worth investing more into? New Year's resolutions are notorious for failing. For that matter, most people never do what they said they were going to do at any time of year, let alone at the start. You don't need more research. You don't need more time or that new gadget for 1995. There are no quick fixes, magic wands, or sweatless solutions. As both the marble and the sculptor, man will always experience resistance and discomfort while chiseling away towards his higher self. After my grandfather died, life continued. Tears were shed, words were said, and everyone went back to their preoccupations. It's taken me nearly 2 years of meaning to write these thoughts down. Apparently not even lost love is more powerful than cemented habit. In my virtuous pursuit of inbox zero, I plugged along, archiving this and deleting that, message after message, all about nothing in particular, until I saw an email from the old man, unanswered, unopened, written in his last few months on earth. No eloquent speeches or profound lessons, just reaching out to a grandson he rarely got to see. I read it in my shame and despair, cursor blinking after the final bell, representing the infinite things I will never be able to say. There was always tomorrow. Always I'm going to. There is no tomorrow. I'll never say goodbye to my grandfather.